The business case for gender equity at Alcoa is simple, and it's not just been about being the right thing to do. It's proven and also compelling through all the literature that you read that organisations with a diverse group of people focused on solving problems outperform those that don't. And here at Alcoa, we've got our own first-hand experience with that. So as we get a diverse group of people together sharing their perspectives, we see a heightened level of creativity, innovation and ingenuity that goes into solving those problems. And it's been a long journey for us here at Alcoa. And whilst I'm pleased with the results that we've seen to date, we have to continue going on this journey together to actually outperform and excel, so we make sure that we have this as a competitive advantage for our organisation for many years to come. We've got a number of different initiatives underway at Alcoa to help improve the gender equity outcome. The three that I think are the cornerstone for us are around pay equity, flexible work arrangements and the Alcoa Women's Network. As I dig into those in a little bit more detail, achieving pay equity is the number one focus area for us. And I'm pleased to report that when you look at the industry averages, whether it be sort of national or at a state level for us, we're actually outperforming the industry. So that's really pleasing. Having said that though, we need to make sure that we've got a rigorous process in place that we can smooth out any anomalies that sit there. So despite how hard we try, there is occasionally some unconscious bias that slips in. So I sit down on an annual basis with our compensation director and actually work through and do a proper pay equity audit. So where there are anomalies or there are some discrepancies in there, that we can actually take some decisive action to correct for those. The second one is around flexible work, and that's something that is a hallmark of working at Alcoa, and it's regardless of gender, whether it be male or female, that we do recognise as people go through their careers with Alcoa that their personal circumstances will change, and some people will actually want to have some flexible work arrangements, and whether that's going on a part-time basis, through to job sharing or any other combination of different sort of flexibility, we're pleased that we can actually offer that for our employees. And it goes at all levels in our organisation as well. And we've got examples here of where senior people are actually doing job share or working on a part-time basis. So it is something that is there for everyone in the organisation. And lastly, we have the Alcoa Women's Network. This was something that we started off at our Kwinana refinery here in Western Australia more than 20 years ago now. It's a sponsorship and mentoring program for women in our organisation, and it's now become a global initiative for us. And it's something I'm really pleased to report that I've been asked to be the executive sponsor for Alcoa's global operations. One of the biggest game changers for us when it comes to improving the gender equity outcomes is actually starting the conversation. So now, as we start each of our lead team meetings, both at my level and down at the location level, we make sure we've got a standing agenda item to talk about diversity and inclusion in much the same way that health and safety and environment is a standing agenda item for us. It's about having the conversation, understanding what the barriers are, and proactively working to take those barriers down. One of the things I'm extremely proud of is the WGEA citation. We've been an employer of choice now for the last 14 years, and I think that's good testament to that this is a long-term journey for us. And I'm really committed at leading Alcoa's operations here in Australia that will make gender inequality a relic of the past. When I reflect over the last 12 months at Alcoa in relation to gender equity, the thing that I've seen as the noticeable difference is the awareness and conversations that we're having on this very important topic. And these conversations and the awareness is happening at all levels in the organisation now. So we're seeing an increasing number of people feeling like it's part of their role to actually make a difference for women in our workforce. We launched a program 12 months ago called Catalyst for Change, and the Catalyst for Change is a pledge, and you actually are signing up and personally committing to making a difference for women in our organisation. And even though it was only 12 months ago that we launched it, we've got more than 200 people who've signed up and taken that pledge now, which represents more than 5% of our workforce. And just there's a couple of examples I'd like to share in terms of areas where you can make a difference. So first of all, when you're actually out there recruiting, make sure that you actually got a diverse candidate pool for that recruitment activity. And if you don't, go back and try again. Secondly, as you've got a team meeting, look around the room and make sure that you've got a diversity of thought sitting as part of that group. As you're putting project teams together, make sure you've got a decent gender balance sitting there as part of that project team. And just invite women along for the conversation, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together and we all need to commit to this and we all need to make a difference. And I'm confident that with the conversations and the awareness that we'll do just that. There is so much to learn when it comes to improving gender equity outcomes, so I'm willing to offer advice and listen to anyone that's willing to give that advice to me. One of the things that I have learnt though over the last sort of 12 months or so is not to give up. So if something doesn't work, stop, learn from that and try again. We recently presented to our leadership team around flexible work arrangements, and really we're looking for a commitment to more fully embed those in the workplace. I heard a lot of excuses. I heard why it was difficult to do. I heard all the old war stories around examples of why it hadn't been successful in the past. And ultimately I just sat there and said, stop. At the end of the day, to not commit to this and not to try this is a failure in itself. So I really empower everyone, because I think everyone has got a role to play here, to actually try something different. And you may be surprised, it may actually work. And if it doesn't work, hey, take a step back, review it, critique it, learn from it, and then go back and try again. There's a lot that we can be proud of here at Alcoa, and I think we've made some fundamental differences and some strides in terms of making gender equity more of a focus area and more a priority for us as an organisation. And sitting here today, I'm proud of what we've done. It's a long journey. There's a lot more that we need to do. And with the leadership and commitment from everyone, I'm really convinced that we'll make a fundamental difference.